something smells good, I wonder what Lynn's cooking today.
Hey, Lynn, what's cooking?
Now here's your host, Lynn Austin.
Hi everyone, welcome to my show. It is a cold January morning and my friend Dana is in the kitchen with me to warm it up a little bit because January can be very chilly and we're heading into February, which is even more chillier. I want to see if you're paying attention.
Yes.
Chillier.
Yeah.
We are going to make bourbon and biscuits.
Yes.
But the bourbon is not going into the biscuits. You are going to teach me how to make your famous biscuits and gravy. And you and I like our bourbon.
Yes, we do.
So I took some bourbon and I put it in a mason jar to kind of go with the southern theme.
Right.
And I added some orange peels into that with
Okay.
some cloves and
Okay.
let that sit overnight.
Ferment a little bit. Cool.
Yes.
Nice.
And it smells so good. You want to take a little whiff? Yes, it smells good. Yes, we
Yes,
are
it
going to be cooking. That's going to warm you up. And it's so simple. Just take a mason jar, your favorite bourbon, pour that in there. Okay. And to that, you're going to add some cloves.
Yeah. One or two.
1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 or whatever, because I like cloves. Some of us don't like a lot of cloves, and that would be Dana. And some orange peel, and try to get most of the orange peel off of this, and not a lot of white if you can on there, the rind on there.
Now, could you use a zester and do that also, or does it give it
You know
less
what? I
flavor?
think then you would have to. This would be easier to strain out.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know, if you're zesting it, it would be like little pieces.
Yep.
And this you can do a couple days on the counter or 24 hours. Just enough to
But you can really smell.
oh, yeah. Oh, it smells so good. And oh, like I said, we live in Indiana, so it's a little chilly, so you want something to warm you up. And just close that. Oops, I got that. It's a little tricky sometimes. It's a little slippery. And this one we're just going to set on the side because that one's done. This one has already done its magic. And Dana, I know you are not a fan of coffee because when we
Correct.
cook in the kitchen, he has Pepsi. So I decided to put some ice in your glass and add some Pepsi. First I'm going to add the bourbon. Into the glass and make sure I get no cloves. Oh, I got cloves in there. I'm sorry. I have to spoon those out. Hold on one second. Get this little guy here. Look at that. Look how cute that is. I just stick them right back in there. Fishing for cloves.
Yeah. New game show on CBS.
Yes. Let's see how talented I am. There we go.
Or a
Okay.
station like CBS.
Then I'm adding some Diet Pepsi in there because you like your Diet Pepsi. And stir that up. So now we're cooking in the morning because we're going to get to those biscuits and gravy.
Oh, yeah.
And to mine, I have my cranberry. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Either I'm going to do the coffee or the cranberry, or I might do both. But I'm going to do some coffee first because I want to warm up here. But I have the cranberry juice on the side, on the rocks. And then I could add that to that. I'm going to add a little bit of creamer to my coffee and a little bit of this special bourbon. And then we're going to get cooking with your biscuits and gravy. What are we going to start with first?
We're going to start with doing the sausage gravy first because there's just a few components to it, but you gotta make sure the meat really gets cooked through.
Okay, so let's get cooking with your sausage, and I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. And here's to making, we did the bourbon.
Yep.
Now it's time for biscuits and gravy.
Good Southern cooking. Now that's good.
Oh
That's
my.
good.
Oh, that is really good. Oh,
Sausage gravy, a lot of people, some people like it thick, some people like it thin. I tend to go a little bit on the thicker side because it gives them, more of a body to it. And it's real simple. There's only 3 ingredients that I use. First of all, I do all my gravy, sausage gravy, in a cast iron pan. So you want to get it hot and ready to go before, at least 5 minutes before you throw your sausage in.
But if you don't have a cast iron pan,
if you don't have a cast iron pan, you can use any other pan. Just put a little, oil on the bottom, coat the bottom, and you want to hear that sizzle when you put the meat in. That's how hot you want it to be.
So before you put the sausage in, you're putting what oil are you putting into the pan?
You can use canola oil, olive oil. I mean, whatever you have on hand.
You can use olive oil.
You can use olive oil.
Okay.
I mean, it's basically whatever you have. But the sausage that I always use is a mild pork sausage. It just seems to taste better, actually. But that's what I use. So you always, like I said, you want your pan to be nice and hot. You want a little sizzle, and you just break off little pieces. You want to turn it, and you want to get. There you go.
Oh, I can hear it sizzling.
Yep. And just like I said, just little beats, and you just want to cover the whole bottom of the pan with little parts of it.
Here, let me put it more. You want it more on the flame there? Or you
Sure.
want it off the flame?
No, on the flame.
Okay.
That's fine. Yep. We're going to turn it down just a little bit because we don't want to get burnt right away. And again, I like cooking with my hands. I mean, when people say, well, of course that's what you cook with. But, I mean, really get your hands in there,
Well, this is something for the whole family to get involved into on a Sunday morning when it's cold and it's, you're going to get snow, so make sure you get all the ingredients for biscuits and gravy.
Your little helpers could help you. And I tell you what, your kitchen will smell incredible.
You're not going to mind it snowing outside if you got biscuits and gravy
Right.
going in the kitchen.
So you just want to, like I said, you just want to get it coated on the bottom. You want to cook that up, And the cast iron pan with oil in it and gets hot, it really does cook faster.
Oh, I can see it. It is cooking out a lot quicker than.
Yeah, and you just, like I said, you just want enough to give it that. And the one key thing also that you don't want to do is you're going to put everything in the pan. You're not going to drain your meat at all. You want all that goodness to be
So you're
part of
not
it.
draining the grease out of there at all.
No.
That's going to go into the gravy.
Yep, that's going to go into the gravy. We're almost there. And the pork sausage really, really holds up well. And as you cook it,
Wow, that is.
Yeah, it cooks, and it as it cooks, it'll start to get a little bit smaller, and that's so you're not having, if you want to keep it bigger, you can make bigger, sausage in it, but you want the gravy is just the taste of the sausage.
So you don't want the sausage overpowering the sauce of the gravy, right? Okay. Gotcha.
All right, so we're almost there. So you want to keep it a little bit on medium for right
Maybe
now.
Lower that a little bit.
Yeah, just lower a little bit of it, and then basically, I use the pork sausage however much you want. Now the other ingredients is all-purpose flour and milk.
Into the sausage. That's
into the sausage. Okay. We're going to go to sausage. You always want to add your dry ingredient first because it's going to soak up from the oil.
Okay.
The oil and everything, and then you're going to mix that a little bit, but you don't want to put it all in once because you want to see how it's going to be cooking, depending if you want, thick or thin gravy. Because you're going to put, maybe quarter of the flour in, stir it up a little bit, put some of your milk in.
So you're not adding any seasoning to the flour at first. So that all comes.
Once you're done everything, I add a little bit of pepper, and that's about it.
Okay.
So
that's simple.
Yep. So I'm just going to add a little bit of flour again to the mixture. Here's our meat. It's cooking. And we're just going to add a little bit of flour. Then we want to coat, again, you want it to kind of try to stay even.
Oh, so that's why you're leaving the grease in there because the flour takes on the grease and you're not, okay.
And you just want to get it all from the sides. But you want to keep it on the heat. And so you put your flour in, and you want to come and you want to get your milk ready.
Now, what kind of milk are you using?
I use whole milk basically on everything because the 2%, 1% skim milk is a lot thinner, a lot watery, and it just doesn't taste as good.
So whole milk, not buttermilk.
Not buttermilk.
Not
You
buttermilk.
can use buttermilk when you do certain biscuits, just to change your recipe up. I just like whole milk. So so we're going to add a little bit of milk in here.
Now, whose recipe is this in your family?
This is my grandmother taught me a lot of cooking, and this is her recipe that I grew up on.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now we're getting all that mixture in there. Now you want to come back with your flour.
Oh, you're going to add more flour to it.
Now we're going to add more flour to it.
So you get your gravy done first, and then you do your biscuits. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of
because your biscuits are gonna take. Well, we'll get to that, but it'll take a little bit of time. But I like doing the gravy first. It just I guess it's just habit. I want to say how I've always done it. But if you want to do your biscuits, let them be in there baking, and then go ahead and do that. You can do that also.
So would you say maybe that's about maybe 2 or 3 cups of flour that you put in there then?
I use about 3 cups that I always start with, and then I go, so I might not use it all because I use 3 cups of milk also. So now you've got that cooking. You want to keep the heat when you start adding this stuff in. You want to keep the heat a little bit higher. And you can see I
So
am
it's
a
boiling
messy cook.
then?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. I
Yeah.
can see that. That by golly, you're really.
I am. I mean everything
They
I do.
don't be on cleanup duty after.
So again, now cast iron, you got to make sure because it really gets hot. So don't put your hand on the handle when the high heat is on.
Yeah, that you would have to remember that when you're
Right.
doing it with cast. I could see myself forgetting, and then
Now, as you can see, it's starting to take shape. This is how I like it. It's starting to get a little bit thicker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more milk, no more flour. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner. So we have kind of a combination.
so you just have your milk by the stove, so you can just keep
Why
on.
don't you pour a little bit more in there? About half of that. There you go. And now, again, we want the
I'm gonna leave
heat
this
on.
right here.
We want the heat on. We want that to start to boil. By that time, you'll see the thickness of the flour and the meat.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I can. And you don't need a whole lot of sausage in there.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
You're right, because then too much sausage you would just get lost.
Right.
You wouldn't have the gravy part
Right.
to go in there. Okay, I see
richness.
that. All right.
So, we can add a little bit more milk.
Okay.
Maybe about a quarter of that. There you go. And see, the milk's gonna always cook down. But when you start adding the ingredients, that's when you kick up the heat again.
Okay.
Okay. See, the milk will always cook down, but see how it's a little bit thinner now? You still got the thickness of the sausage, and that's how you can move it out. See, because then you get back to your original, you kind of just move it back out, and then it'll cook even. Now pour the rest of the milk in
You
there.
know, next time you come visit, all of it.
Yes, all of it.
I may need you to do this again because I don't think I've quite got this down pat. All of it?
Yep. There we
Okay.
go. See, now this is going to be, your sausage, basic sausage gravy, but it's going to be a little bit thinner.
Are we putting pepper in there now? or?
No, I want the rest of the milk to cook down a little
Okay.
bit, and then we'll get a little boil on it.
So you don't put any salt in there, just pepper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the pork sausage is salty,
It's salty enough, so
Right.
you don't need the salt
Right.
in there.
So there you go. That's your gravy.
Okay.
And then the only thing that
Do
I
we
add to
lower
it-
this right now?
Well,
or?
after I do this, then I just add cracked sausage gravy.
Oh, I
And
like
then
that.
let's turn it down to low, and we're done.
Okay. Now you're going to move on to your biscuit. Do I stir this? Can I stir
Yes.
this a little bit?
Yep.
And then.
And then, like I said, when you're cooking it, you want it to cook even for the sausage and everything. You want it to be a flat, kind of as much as you can. But see how it's a little bit thinner,
Ooh,
and
that
that's
looks
perfect.
delicious.
So
Delicious. Do we just set this on the back burner?
now, yeah,
Well,
you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
Take that off the heat,
Right.
or
You can take it off the heat.
okay. Well, that was
Pretty simple.
super easy. But
Yeah,
when he
and-
comes to visit again, I'm going to play like I didn't understand that. Okay.
Like normal, not understanding.
Okay.
But,
Not understanding that, but
But again,
Okay.
it's really simple. Like I said, it's only a few ingredients, and it's basically your taste, your family's taste. The kids, the husband, the wife, whatever. Do they like do they like a thinner? Do they like a thicker? Whatever they would like. That's how you can make
And
it.
I actually thought you would put more sausage in there, but I understand why you wouldn't put so much sausage in there,
Yeah.
because that wouldn't you wouldn't have.
Yeah,
the
if you, I
gravy.
mean, the sausage comes
Okay.
in, the little tubes, and if you buy one, you can actually, I've done in the past is make the sausage gravy, and then I cut in patties the rest, and you can have sausage and biscuits, and then
Oh,
actually sausage,
yeah.
and then for like a late night stack, you have your biscuits, and then you have your patties, and then you can have a.
I often have sausage and patties for late night
I know, and I heard I understand that you love your sausage.
Yes, for a late night snack. It's awesome.
Good stuff.
Okay, let's
now we'll
move
on
on
to
to your
the
biscuits.
Now the biscuits, like I said, this is my grandma's recipe. She taught me. She lived to 94 years old and made biscuits up until.
Maybe that's why she had sausage and biscuits late night, and she lived to 94 years old.
And she liked her bourbon too.
Did she have a little bourbon
She
with
did like
it?
her bourbon.
God love her. There you go.
From Alabama, she loved it. What we're gonna do here now, again, it's what I'm making. They're called drop biscuits. Okay.
So we're not rolling.
We're not rolling.
And we're
anything
not
in a
cutting. See, I love that.
I mean,
love that.
I'm all
Okay.
about, you get in there and you work it
gonna
with your hands.
get in there.
Everything's good when you work it with your hands.
Yes.
And then so you just again.
My grandma used to say, speaking of grandmas, she had arthritis in her hands, and she always made her own dough. So she said that helped her arthritis
with the
in her hands. That was her physical therapy back then, was making her dough. So.
I mean,
There you
it's like I said, this is a simple recipe. There's not a whole lot of ingredients in it.
Okay.
But it's just the way that you cook it. You preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Okay. You
Okay.
start out with what I usually start out with. Again, I follow her recipe basically to the T. Is 6 cups of all-purpose flour.
Okay.
Okay. So you got to go all-purpose flour. Then you add quarter teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
So you're throwing that in there. Then everything goes in the pool here. Then you've got 3/4 cup of baking powder.
Okay.
So that goes in.
Now, are you
Alright.
going to be whisking this together, or are you just stirring this
There's
together?
so many things that you can do. You can put it in a food processor, and you can
Okay.
pulsate it and get it where you want it to go. But because the biscuits, the way they look and everything, you can use a kneader. You can do it. I'm going to use my hands.
Okay.
All right, because
Do
I
you
like.
need me to do?
Boy, do I need you.
Sorry.
So you get 3 sticks of butter, not margarine, butter. And
Butter.
you-
3 sticks of butter.
3 sticks of butter. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell this is Southern food because they're rich in their.
Okay.
So yeah, 3 sticks of butter. Cut it in cubes. And
I did say it was a cold winter's day,
Exactly.
so
So-
you are warming yourself up with the.
Yep. And the butter you want it
Butter.
to be refrigerator. You don't want to leave it out. You want it to be.
You want it to be hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Hard butter.
Everything is butter. All right. So you
Everything
want
is
to mix that up
butter.
a little bit. All right. All your dry ingredients plus your butter. Again, I love making messes, especially.
In my kitchen.
Exactly.
Yes. he
So we're
does.
gonna get everything in there. You want to get the butter nice and
So you're kneading the butter into the flour
and the baking and the
and the
paper
baking
powder.
powder and the salt.
Right. And you want to keep on going till you get that butter almost where you can't even feel
Oh,
the
the
clumps.
kids would have fun with this. They
yeah.
would just have a blast with
You
that.
could
Just
be,
get right in there.
drinking your bourbon
Yeah,
and watching
just
them
have
do
a
all the
little
work.
coffee and bourbon, and you're good to go.
You're good to go. Like I said, it's real simple. I mean, you got maybe prep time 15, 20 minutes and cooking time 25 minutes. So
Yeah, get
I
the
mean-
whole family in there. I think that's awesome. You got the gravy done,
Mm-hmm.
so now you're just going to be mixing the dry ingredients with the butter, and then when that is all mixed together, what comes first? The butter?
well,
or?
the butter is going to be the milk. That butter is for after when the biscuits are done.
Oh.
Okay, because it depends on how you like the biscuits. Do you want a little bit browner, a little bit, however you want to do it. But we're going to need actually a long spoon if you would have one.
A long spoon, like
Yes.
a wooden spoon?
That would work perfectly.
Okay, I can do that.
She's so handy.
Got a spoon for you.
Yeah. Kind of nervous about you behind me with a spoon.
Oh, I would never do anything.
Okay, so now we're going to pour all the milk in.
All the milk. Do you want me just to go around, or a little bit at a time?
I
or?
would go around and make it like a kaleidoscope.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
There
Do you want to
go,
stir it a little bit, or?
Nope, keep on going. All of it in the pool.
Okay.
But we are on a time limit here, though, so you might want to.
Well, I know this is a southern recipe, and I thought I had to move a little bit slower. Because everything in the South, everybody moves slower, right?
Yeah, and everyone in the North thinks slower, so it evens out. So then once you get it all in there, and then you just, like I said, you just move everything to the sides. You want to get all that milk down to the bottom.
Okay.
And again, we're going to get messy here in a second too.
Okay. Now, like I said, you're not rolling these out. These are just spoon drop biscuits.
Yep.
Say
But
that
again,
3 times fast.
after the bourbon.
I've already had some bourbon. Spoon drop biscuits.
Right.
Spoon drop biscuits.
So again, make a mess, have fun, get in there, but because you want all the flour to get wet. So you get in there, and you just want to make sure.
You're doing a great job there, Dana.
So get those hands in there.
Yep.
You might want to, if you wear rings, you might want to take those
Yeah,
off.
I'm thinking I have my rings on. I think this is like, oh, honey, I have my rings on. I can't do this. This is your part. Right?
Yeah, I think you've used that line before. It seems like. You said it too, kind of.
Do you need extra flour to put on your hand?
You could do that, but then what's the fun
What are
of,
you going to do with that right there? You're not going to waste that flour,
oh, of course
right?
not. I would always
Well,
put it
you
in
can
a
put a
pan.
little bit on your hands to get the stickiness off. Do you know that?
No, I've never heard of that.
You can do that. Here.
Enlighten me, young lady.
Yes, I will. Right there. Now rub your hands together. That's what my grandma used to do. And then the flour.
Because that
helps
works after I already have all the.
No, it does. You rub it together and you get it off your hands. See?
No problem, Lori. I mean, Lenny.
So smart.
So there you go. That's all
No,
you
my
do.
sister didn't make the dough. I'm the one that made the dough and followed my grandma's rules. My
So
sister didn't make the dough.
basically, that's what. There's your dough. You just keep
Oh,
on,
nice. It's turning out very nice.
and
Here,
then
add some
again-
of flour there. You don't want to waste that.
And then you can actually make this the night before. Put it in.
Oh, can you put it in the refrigerator?
Put it in the
night before?
refrigerator. But when you get it out, you're gonna have to knead it a lot more because it's gonna be.
Does it have to sit a little bit at room temperature maybe, and
Yeah.
then you kind of knead it?
Yeah.
I need you to put it out on the counter for a
All
little
right.
bit.
So there's
Wow,
your.
that is it. Oh,
That is
now
all
I'll
you
do
do.
it. See?
There you go.
That's
so then,
nice.
Then, we already have some made up already. So what? All you're gonna do at this point
But you gotta get that off of the spoon
is
here.
take a baking sheet or a cooking pan, whatever you have, and again.
Oh, you have some done there.
I have
That's
some
right.
done already. Again, it's not an exact science how you put them on there. It's fun. They're called drop biscuits for a reason because we're just gonna get in there. You can make them smaller. You can make them bigger. You can however you want to do them. You're just gonna put them on the pan. Take as much as you want off.
Because you're just putting the gravy over them, which
Yeah.
you're not making them into balls or anything.
No,
you're
you're
just dropping them.
You're just peeling some
Is
off.
that
and-
like too small?
No, because some of the people in your family, kids, maybe they don't like a big honk biscuit. They
Yeah.
they want
They
the
want
biscuit
more
for
of the
jam
gravy,
or
right.
yeah or
I like jam on mine. Like then you can have like 2 of them, 2 biscuits, and then you're not like thinking that you're pigging out if they're
Right.
smaller, right?
exactly. And the thing about these
Well,
two,
this is fun. The kids would have a lot of fun with this.
the thing about this too is if you make make this exact recipe, it's probably can feed 7 to 10 people, but if you have 3 or
So
4,
if you're snowed in and your neighbors or
Yeah.
if you like them, you can have them over. If you don't, just leave the biscuits at their door.
or you can freeze them.
Or you can freeze
and then you could have them. That was my original thought.
Oh, you know what? We can freeze these, and the next time you come over, I can make you biscuits and gravy.
You could make me biscuits and
You
gravy.
just take them right out of the freezer.
She's always thinking.
I'm always thinking, never get rid of anything. You always.
The thing that you
make
do
sure
want
that
to,
you-
because sometimes is like, if
Ooh, there's chunks of butter right in there. That's just going to bake right into that.
you don't want to make them too high. That's the only thing.
Okay.
So because you want that top part to cook and to get
Okay.
nice and brown and crusty. Basically about it. Again,
So these are going to go into a 400
400
preheated
degree,
oven.
Preheated oven, 400 degrees.
Okay,
For
and-
about 20-25 minutes.
And you can make this the night before, but put it in the refrigerator and
Mm-hmm.
put it on the counter till it gets room temperature before you start putting them on the
Right,
cookie sheet.
but knead it again. Once you let it get down to room temperature, get in there again and knead it. 'cause you
Need
wanna
it,
make
and that
sure
is a lightly greased cookie
li-
sheet.
lightly
Okay.
greased, yep.
So we're going to put those in the oven, and then we have some done, and I cannot wait to try this gravy with the biscuits. We're going to put those there, and I have some in the oven over here.
The only thing we'll need will be plates, and we'll be all ready to go.
Okay.
So you want to just throw it on my messy kitchen right there?
Yes, that you will be cleaning up a little later, mister, because I am not going to do that. And let me get some plates, because you are the one that's going to cook. Here, let me sample.
All clean.
I'm going to sample, and you're going to watch me sample.
All right, well, we need to get a little
me see.
bit.
Why don't you plate it up for me?
You know, I'm here for you.
To serve me, yes,
Can I have that
absolutely
towel,
right.
please?
Oh, sure.
All right.
You are messy in the kitchen, but I absolutely love you, and I have to do this first. And then we're going to do a toast, too.
Take your
I just
two
want to...
biscuits. Again, it's a little bit thinner for those people who like it a little bit thinner. Still a little bit warm. Just take a little bit. Put it right on top there.
Let's go with jam.
Now you just,
I need a fork.
yes you do.
I need a fork, and we're going to do a toast to Cooking in the Kitchen. I have a spoon. I'm just going to use a spoon. This is fine. This works.
And nothing, I mean, you want to talk about getting warm on a cold day. I mean, that gravy just, I mean. And sometimes-
Drop biscuits are awesome. Your gravy is awesome. Bourbon, real simple. Make it easy
Simple,
and
easy,
fun
fun.
to have fun in the kitchen and keep warm on those winter days. And here's to cooking in the kitchen with friends and family, and keep warm in these winter months, everybody. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Love the bourbon.